We support Pat Socks, MAGA communists.
Stop.
Over here.
You went too far.
What if I hate? What if I got everyone to hate us?
Time to spam the followers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If the viewers could hate us as much as I hate myself, then we would be doing good.
Bro, big facts. We could somehow like bottle and distribute our depression juice, whatever that might be. I think we would be very successful.
Yes, Queen. Slay, Ivan, slay.
Yes, Queen.
You guys want to drink some Trulies?
God, when I was an alcoholic, I would just fucking slam those back as like hydration.
Damn.
It was pretty crazy.
Bro's got a BAC at 30.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Just, just reinforces the fact that we're depraved.
Yep. Got the thing going.
And I don't know what you're talking about. I am untouched by bourgeois decadence, my friends.
I could tell by your glowing demeanor.
Not me. I'm full of bourgeois decadence.
See all this weight of mine? Full of bourgeois decadence.
I have drip, so yeah.
Debatable.
Bourgeois decadence. Not the bourgeois decadence like the
Debatable.
CPC
There we go.
and their communist Gucci stores. But
my collective setup there.
Wow, look at you.
Oh, pretty.
Bourgeois
Look at that.
decadence.
Production values going crazy, bro.
Collective is backwards. Or it's not. I don't know.
Collective is... Oh.
No, you're backward.
I thought you meant like, in terms of organization, collective was the backwards. And I was like, oh, well, shoot us in the foot.
For a bunch of Marxist Leninists, we really do organize like fucking anarchists on the YouTube.
Don't ever say that.
It's true.
Don't.
Bro, like, let's have a voluntary rota.
Guys, who wants to empty a latrine today? Not this comment down here.
Somebody say anarchy.
They've been summoned, my mortal enemies.
Get him over here. Like how you try to get a cat. How do we attract them? Get rid of all the soap. Get it out of the building.
Offer
what? Cruz, your collective sign's gone.
Wow.
God damn it.
Such a loser, dude. Oh my
How
God.
are you gonna build revolution when you can't turn on the TV? Now you can see his search history. Does that say Donald Trump is based God on there?
It was Donald Trump Duterte meeting, how to get to Epstein Island, visa free.
Is Epstein's Island like a known place that we could just like Google?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can.
You just look up Epstein's Island.
Okay. See, I never did that because, I don't know.
Why would you?
No desire to do that, but we never talked about the Oliver North comment where he was talking about how we shouldn't care about minors on some island, specifically talking about Epstein's Island, and I'm like, why did you say that?
I thought I brought it up.
We might have. I don't know. That guy is such a clown.
Oliver North said that?
No.
Oliver North.
God, that would have made headlines for...
Good old Ollie North.
Ollie North. I got that fucking American Dad song.
American Dad episode was pretty fucking funny.
I hate Seth MacFarlane. I'm gonna just be real.
Pretty cringe.
And I'm actually pretty sure I brought this up in one of the first episodes.
I'm pretty confident you did, yeah.
Yeah, just what he did with the whole, R-word joke. It's disgusting. Not a good person. And he just seems like a big baby. But I guess American Dad is the more tolerable out of all those shows.
Yeah,
I don't
because
think American Dad really does anything, or I don't think Seth MacFarlane really does anything on American Dad. He's kind of
that's what I was
he's
going to
like
say.
just a voice actor.
He had
That's basically it.
temporarily stopped all work via those SAG and WGA strikes. That's last I heard.
Well, that's good. Oh, just sent an invite to some
He
randos.
just won't cross a picket line.
I feel like I have a hard time liking our own shit when it's all in the box format.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna start off strong, right? As we always do. I never want our viewers to forget the fact I fucking hate liberals.
Yeah.
Soundbite it, put it on a t-shirt, we'll sell it in the Chinese store, Gucci, whatever. Like, they're so goddamn infuriating. And I understand there's some people who think they're liberal that we could win on our side. But, like, I'm specifically referring to that video that I tried to post earlier today that immediately got zapped. Like, there was no chance it was getting off the ground. Basically, there was a guy, Larry calls him Cue Ball, and he...
Mr. Queen, Cue Ball.
Getting paid, probably, by the DNC to make a video about how Saudi Arabia is basically solely responsible for all our problems. They are cutting oil natural gas to us and petroleum. They own Twitter, apparently, and all this other bullshit. And
Guys, they own Twitter.
They own Twitter. Listen.
They own Twitter.
That's what he said. He said, listen. Anyways, he was just being super racist, basically, dog whistling, like, justification for manufacturing consent for, either a conflict or sanctions or whatever, against the dirty Saudis. And I'm not even saying that I don't support Saudi Arabia. I don't support any theocracy. I don't support capitalism. But, like, holy shit, bro. We're not, the language he was using, he was saying, like, he's like, that's our resources. Who's we in this scenario? I'm not with you, Chief. Like,
he speaks directly for Exxon.
Mm-hmm. I buy it 100%.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I made a video and was basically just said, like, what are you talking about? Like, all the problems that you're bringing up are the problems of capitalism that your boy Joe Brandon supports. So you gotta dig through that crap, bro. You can't keep taking what the State Department tells you and running with it. You really have to do yourself a favor and question what your government is saying. And even if it is a socialist government or whatever, like, we've won the revolution, you should still naturally question what the party is saying. It's only healthy. That's how you prevent a conspiracy from happening. But I don't know. These people just think that as soon as Donald Trump got out of office, that somehow everything is better. So vote blue.
It's kind of the story they've always sold. As long as they're not in power, they have to exist.
Right.
Remember, we need a strong Republican Party. We need all that. They have to exist, but they can't be in charge. Because if they're in charge,
that is just ridiculous. I don't understand it. I'll never understand.
They also want them in charge because then it looks like they're doing something.
That's true.
Because if they're in charge, they're like, enemy, we can fight.
Mm.
But then when they're in charge, they're like, that's great.
It's low key better when they're in charge, for the rest of the world because the liberals are turning all their bloodthirst on the Republicans rather than the Saudis or Iran or whoever
Right.
the fuck else is
So
in
what
their
you're
That
saying is the
affairs at the moment.
Republicans are the vanguard.
uh,
Yes, yes, that's exactly
we're
right.
fucked, aren't we? I just
I mean, the Constitution, like our country is literally like such a perfect example of like why a vanguard party works. I'm like not even gonna lie.
go
Because
ask us.
like we literally have a bourgeois vanguard party. Like that's literally what both of the two parties are, and they're doing a fantastic job of maintaining capitalism. You know what I mean? Like,
And if you go back into like the history of the United States, like when they initially formed, it wasn't the Constitution that was in power. They didn't
yeah,
have a very strong centralized government. They had the Articles of Confederation, and it was all the states effectively acted as their own country, and it almost fell apart instantly. There was a rebellion.
if only.
Was it the whiskey rebellion or Shays rebellion, which was like
State
almost a
rebellion.
genuine people's rebellion.
Yeah, Shays Rebellion was a legitimate people's movement. Yeah,
It was a
I
people. It
barely
was a
talk
people
about it.
front, and they managed to put it down, but just barely. And they all came together, and they were like, "Y'all, we fucked up with that.
yeah,
All that's gone. We're going
Yeah,
strong because like initially they were going with, well, we can't have kings, we can't have any of that. We just fought that. The whole point
yeah.
is we don't have central power.
yeah.
And
So
then
they
they
opted, to
actually
have a
figured
Senate controlled by wealthy lawyers and slave owners to
Mhm.
maintain their own power, to make sure that Shays Rebellion, like peasant revolts, slave rebellions never happen, and even if they do, that they'll never win because it's literally a bourgeois vanguard state originally because only wealthy white landowning men could vote. Um, like
Are you?
most of the politicians were like, you know, essentially like decided prior to elections. Like they weren't elected.
Yeah.
Are you saying that you don't like freedom?
Yes.
Yes, I hate freedom.
Yes.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, I hate
I
freedom
hate
for
it.
slave
I hate
owners
it
too.
so much.
Are you a communist?
Yeah, man, liberal thought, liberal decadence is just it's getting me all kinds of fucked up, and I feel like I've just been. I mean, I encounter it every day, but I've been encountering it just like in particular today. I mean, granted, I went looking for it, so I saw this one post. I started shit posting on Facebook again because now I'm friends with all y'all on Facebook, like the boomers that we are. So I'm like, all right, yeah, I can get back into this. Anyway, someone made a post, whatever. Someone had a shirt with Che Guevara on it, and people were making fun of the guy for having a Che Guevara shirt. So I said something along the lines of like, don't talk shit about my boy Che or whatever. And like, I know in real life they're anti-communists, and I know on TikTok they're anti-communists, but like Facebook anti-communists just like coming out of the woodwork, and it's like the most liberal, like back in the Donald Trump days. If you weren't politically educated, you would think that these are the progressives. But
Mhm.
they looked exactly what you think they look like, and they were just like, he was homophobic, he was racist, he was a mass murderer. Fuck you for liking him. And I was like, okay, well, I was like, all right, well, have you considered? This is not a justification. I said that to him. I said, not telling you that it was okay that he wears those things, but like most people were racist and homophobic in the 50s.
Yeah.
So, like,
Mhm.
that was backwards human thought. And if I was hanging out with Che today and he was like, man, I fucking hate gays, right? I'll be like, bro,
Come on,
don't
man.
do that. Stop. I'm not gonna hang out with you. But you
Che
can't.
Guevara would be getting the Eddie treatment. He'd just be getting dragged across all social media. Like,
Could you imagine stitching Che Guevara?
Which okay,
yeah, yeah,
that's a
stitching Che
fun
Guevara.
question.
This dude.
It's kind of a fun
This
question though.
fucking guy.
Of
Where
all
he's
the
like,
previous, of all like the major, well-known revolutionaries, who would survive the best in the social media landscape?
Stalin, because he was just so reserved and kind of quiet, and
He just wouldn't post.
No,
yeah,
you
yeah,
could you could say someone could spin that and be like, no, because he kicked everyone from the Discord, put him in the gulag. No. He was pretty quiet. I remember when I first heard Stalin speak, and I was like, that's what he sounds like. He's so like meek and like petite sounding. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
He
Like
doesn't
you
sound like a
expect like
raging-
Lenin or Stalin to be like Borussia, like some shit like that, but they're like,
yeah,
hello, so welcome to the committee. Today we're gonna be
sounds like
talking
me.
about
It literally sounds like us.
Welcome to Kollectiv.
Like, oh my god, you're Joey Steele. Like,
yeah,
couldn't have been me.
you know,
Lenin would not have.
very high pitch compared.
so,
Yeah.
some people have Ryan Gosling. We have Stalin. Stalin is literally me. So
Fucking Lenin would not have survived because he would just be posting way too much. He'd be like Merte. He'd be keep getting banned.
yeah,
He would come
he's
out
just getting banned every week.
Every other day, Marta, or Lennon, you gotta stop posting about Kautsky and this renegade. Okay, I won't.
He's like set him aside. No,
Again.
actually, what would happen? Stalin would be Lenin's moderator,
Yes,
and
exactly.
Stalin would actively tell him exactly what you just said. He'd be like, dude, you're right. You are completely right. I get that. Everyone gets that. But you can't post that shit because you get banned and then no one can hear you. And then he'd be like, Stalin can't be the fucking secretary of the party because he's a piece of shit.
Christ.
He cannot be in charge of the Discord server anymore because he's fucking telling me what to do. It's
Right.
a red flash.
Right. Rosa would quit social media because everyone's mean to women
Yeah.
and they hate women. So that just wouldn't last at all. She'd be getting hit from all angles. She'd be getting hit from Pat Socks, and then she'd be getting hit by commie incels who are like,
Would you date me?
and then she'd be like, I gotta go, guys. I can't do this.
You're like my dream girl.
Ooh woo, kitten.
I
Yeah.
want to meet Mimi. Can I come over
Oh
to your
god. Who else? I'm forgetting all my revolutionaries now. Engels would have just he was I don't know revolutionary, but like Engels would
Poster.
shit poster really? I feel like he just wouldn't bother.
No, he was as sassy as Lenin in some ways. It's just he and Lenin and Marx would all be like they would be like the clique. They would be just dunking on everybody.
I feel like Marx would say something and it would confuse some people. And Engels would come in on a secondary on his account to try to clarify what it was he was saying.
No, for real. It would be like when you're scrolling through TikTok lives and you see your friend like talking to conservatives, and you're like, he didn't say that right. I gotta join and re-say that again.
Marx is drunk, completely drunk on his lives. And Engels is trying to like keep everyone's like trust me, this is the guy we need to listen to. But I know he's a little the way he is sometimes. I get it.
Yep.
I mean, I think pretty much everybody's getting banned except like maybe Engels. Like I think Engels could probably be fine. Like Engels would be doing something where he's just chilling.
Yeah, well, Ceausescu would be he would be fine because he would be over there with the Pat Sox just having a good old time.
Standing against a brick wall. Also, hello everybody tuning in
Hi.
from the
Hey,
CBC
welcome.
bunker.
Yes.
Sorry I'm late.
It's
Turn
okay.
your goddamn camera on.
We all got our
No, you're good.
Mao Zedong.
No.
He just wouldn't. I don't think he would do it.
No. Bro's not even gonna live long enough to make it onto social media in the first place.
He'd probably convince a lot of people to join, but I don't think he himself would join.
He would be Instagram only.
Sorry, y'all, I was having a
Facebook
tech
post.
issue, but I was listening to everything y'all were saying. Yeah, Mao wouldn't even bother, and Ho Chi Minh would be on OnlyFans. Marte, we're
And they would
discussing.
both have beef.
Hung Chi Minh.
Yep,
Yeah,
exactly.
we're
And I
discussing.
would be a subscriber.
What do you think? Well, first I was going on a rant about how much I hate liberals, and I'm not done with that rant. But we got sidetracked into who do you think, in the revolutionary sense, would survive on the modern day social media? So we were saying that Stalin would be fine because he's just so like chill. He wouldn't really say much. Lenin would be like you and get banned all the time because he keeps talking shit when he knows he shouldn't, and everyone keeps telling him to stop and he won't stop. Rosa Luxemburg would quit social media because she gets the Pat Socks and like Midwestern Marks types who like hate her because she's a woman. And then she would get the other side of like people who are like, ooh, woo, would you date me? And then she's like, I gotta go, guys. I can't do this.
She would just think the internet's complete degeneracy, probably.
Yeah, and you know, honestly, it is. So, what do you think? What do you think? What's your take?
I agree with that. I also think that Mao would probably be banned, but probably not as much. Actually, Mao wasn't that sassy. It was Lenin who was like really sassy.
One of the
I mean,
comments
Engels
did bring
was
up a good point. Mao was a poet. Mao was very
right.
poetic.
That's true. True.
That's
He's
why
making content like
he's on
Cruz, kind of.
Instagram.
Pinterest.
Yeah.
Okay,
Pinterest,
so
yeah.
who would be the podcaster?
Fuck.
The podcaster?
That'd be like she, man. Just kidding. I guess I think Karl Marx would be the podcaster because he'd always be at home, and his main subscriber would be Ingalls, and probably only Ingalls.
You'd be like, thanks, Ingalls, for the 10 gifted subs.
No,
Yeah,
no.
I'm sorry your wife died. Thanks for the subs, though.
It would be Engels would have 3 accounts, and they're all the ones that follow Marx's podcast.
Yeah.
Because he's just trying to make him feel better. Yeah.
You're doing great, buddy.
Oh my god. That's so
I'm sorry
cool.
your wife died. Thank you for the 10 subs.
Major L.
Tito would still be over on MySpace.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So, yeah.
Gonzalo would be on Tumblr or some shit, bro, eating babies.
Oh my god.
I'm just kidding.
Absolutely not. Holy shit. Who else we got here?
Twitch streaming.
Yeah, Comrade Hoja is in the basement Twitch streaming like 24/7.
Bro's playing Valorant or something.
Who's only playing Hoi 4? Trotsky. Trotsky's playing Hoi 4 because he's just there pretending as if he's like, I could run Russia better, you know, the whole time. But he's using console commands.
World Revolution now.
I feel like he'd be more like there's this game called Crusader Kings, like an RPG.
Yeah.
It's like in the medievals, and like I feel like he'd just be trying to like invade everybody, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole point of the game, anyways.
He would be the one playing as the Germany in 1945 and saying that he was doing it for the immersion.
He's doing it for the bind, man.
Comment says Thomas Sankara would have been based AM radio show. I could hear that. I could see him in like a decent suit, like just very like calm speaking and like chill. You know, that's where the sophisticated people go.
He would be the most professional out of everyone.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be the only one that's like, I have no enemies. Nobody would have beef with this dude, but nobody would be like you know, adoring him either, if you know what I mean.
He's doing everything just right.
Like, he'd be chilling with everybody, but he'd be like, you know, the third wheel on every guest podcast or something like that. You know what I mean?
Pol Pot would be a crypto bro because he's not a communist.
He would be.
That's
All
funny.
right, we're banning money. We're going all crypto now.
I had a coworker at work actually. He's like, "Yeah, man, you should really get into it. It's decentralized. The
Oh
government
my
has
god.
nothing to do with it." And then like, I think he kind of knows I'm socialist. He's like, China actually use crypto. They use cryptocurrency, but they like monitor it like really heavy and stuff. I'm like, cool. That's not gonna convince me to use it, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Cool
thanks.
story, bro.
I had somebody, I'll tell you guys who later. I had somebody once tell me how they could, actually, no, I told you guys before. Um, Tell me about how he was, like, investing with fellow comrades into, like, basically commie coin, and he was like, this is good, bro. And I'm like, Larry, I can see your face. You know exactly what I'm talking about. It's just like, no.
Crypto is also like super unpredictable. It's similar to the stock market exchange. Like if a bunch of people start pulling out, it's like crashing. It's just I've heard some stories about it. My coworker tried to explain it to me and like put me on, and I'm like, man, that just sounds like a wreck, you know?
Yeah, no, I didn't.
I
Don't.
love gambling personally.
Me
Right.
too, but, like,
I like gambling on like sports or going to like the casinos, you know?
yeah.
Yeah, on sports mostly.
But I
Right.
would not encourage people who are really check to check to be like, hey, do buy commie coin. Like, no, bro, just
No.
leave them alone. Like, don't do that.
Right.
Oh my
Right.
goodness. Are we
And
out of
plus,
revolutionaries?
they
What
have like
about
a bad
Fidel?
rep because they're like, oh, Fidel would be an OnlyFans just like Ho Chi Minh. He'd have an OnlyFans probably.
I feel like he'd have one of those illustrious porn sites where it's like
Right.
you gotta pay for it, and it's
But
just
I feel
it,
like maybe he wouldn't be.
it's
Oh,
called Encanta, and it's just like,
Encanta.
you know what? I can't keep going. It's gonna get too saucy. It just.
Yeah.
Mm.
And we also forget that Fidel was alive for, half of social media's
That's
existence.
very true.
Yes, that is true.
He was, I mean, he was, not 100% Fidel, but, he was
Yeah.
definitely alive.
And Fidel was in his younger days, though,
Hmm.
during the Advent.
Maybe on Snapchat.
I
Yeah.
Yes.
he would be going on sports podcasts
Yeah, oh,
talking about
definitely.
Baseball.
Yeah.
and
Baseball,
Baseball.
basketball. Yeah.
Baseball,
He
basketball.
would be talking because he would be like the real world, the day job is the revolutionary part, and he's doing that in the real world, and he's using social media to talk about shit that he actually shit that he likes in his personal day.
Yeah. He
Mm.
would be on Joe Rogan, like he would be like the base Joe Rogan guest. Like Duncan Trammell, who was friends with Rogan, who comes on there, who was actually cool.
Mm.
Who used to go? I haven't seen him on there in a long time, but like
Mm.
he would be the good Joe Rogan guest, and of course Rogan being a completely brain dead, he would agree with everything Fidel said until Fidel
Oh
left
yeah,
the
yeah,
studio.
yeah. And then he'd look at him and be like, "You ever done DMT?"
For real.
Oh, yeah.
God.
Guy
That'd
that
be,
did DMT was fucking.
that'd be something
Like,
else.
communism is very interesting, but have you ever been high?
I could see, no, I could for sure see, like, I wake up in the morning, and this is definitely a fantasy, and I wake up in the morning, I'm a woman in this fantasy, and I look at my phone, and it's a snap from Fidel, and it's just like a good morning snap, but I know in my heart that he sent it to, like, 40 other people, but in this case, I think he's talking to me, like, you know.
The Riz is too strong. You don't even care. It's probably sensitive.
Exactly, it's like, the Riz is going crazy.
It's probably the beard.
Anyway, so we got here because I was on my rant about liberals, Marte, and how basically I forgot how vicious Facebook liberals are because I started shit posting since I got friends with you guys on Facebook again, and someone posted something about a Che Guevara shirt, so I was like, don't shit on my boy or whatever. And like these real liberal progressive types, I hate to say it, like purple hair types, are like, he was a mass murderer. He was racist and homophobic. You piece of shit. Fuck you. And I'm like, okay, well, One, yeah, if he was those things, that's a major L. Like, I'm not supporting that. If I was chilling with him and he told me, like, hey, I hate those fucking gays, right? I'd be like, all right, bro, don't do that, or we're not gonna hang out. But I was trying to say that doesn't discount him liberating, a nation of, a liberating an entire country from slave owners. And then these liberals are throwing Google at me, and they're like, "Well, in 1890, slavery was abolished in Cuba." And I'm like, "You guys don't understand. You don't understand the greater machinations in place here." And again, I'm not even defending what he's doing. I'm saying you're ignoring his contributions. And this one lib was like, "Dictatorship is dictatorship," and Fidel and his elites were in charge. If the communists
His
wanted
elites.
if the communists wanted to be friends with the elites, why did they choose to side with the poor?
Right, that just sounds like bad speech.
Or like I mean I've come across like I have a similar situation. I remember you guys remember that one anarchist who was like, yeah, well, I don't like Che Guevara because he used to be rich, and no communist or anybody should like him because he was rich, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
That argument was crazy to me. Like, I mean, if they were capitalists, like, isn't it good that they betrayed their class and helped the working class and actually fought alongside us and helped liberate, you know, thousands of people, and I don't see how that's bad at all.
Larry, what's that
Yeah.
base quote?
What about Khrushchev and Joe and Lai?
I think that's it.
Yeah. Where Khrushchev says that Joe had come from the privileged Mandarin class, and that he had come from the peasant class, and Joe said, "Yes, this is true. We have one thing in common: we are both traitors to our class."
Mm-hmm.
Base.
So that's the one of the worst communists of all time. Khrushchev was a peasant background, and so it's not where you came from. It's what you're currently doing and where you're going. We could have tomorrow Elon Musk defect to our side and become the most base communist ever. You don't know.
No,
Awesome.
We
that's
fucked
gonna
up
be
with Pol
that's
Pot
gonna be a
once.
no for me, dog.
I feel like it'd be all a charade. Like, I mean, I feel like I could see like he sees the world crumble into a socialist world, like socialist world, and then he's like pleading for help on X. He's like, "Hey guys, I'm a communist now. I'm a
You
socialist
know,
now.
you
We're
know
still coming
Eddie.
for your head, buddy."
You know Eddie Lagersmith would be all over it.
Oh, he'd be glazing. He'd be glazing so hard.
Just falling for it immediately.
I'm sorry, he just makes it too easy for us to keep
that
shitting on him. My bad.
that donut is glazed.
I love
Oh my
Krispy
goodness.
Kremes.
Anyway, so going on to my rant for liberals, right? So I was mentioning this earlier in the chat, and I'm definitely gonna make a real in-depth video about it because. So you guys know the spiel, but for those who don't, so I love bad TV. Always have, always will. It's background noise, or I really will just watch shitty soap operas. But fuck me, right? That's what I like. And I really like medical shows. I think because I'm just a masochist in general, because like I'm a nurse, so I hate my job, and I'm a communist, so I hate myself. So I'm just like, let's put these things together and see what happens. So I don't know who let the
Do you like
liberal.
Grey's Anatomy? Sorry,
Hell yeah, bro.
I knew it.
Hell yeah.
How to
Um,
Save a Life.
Listen, when that song comes on, bro, it's
Honestly,
tearjerker.
I'm sorry to get off topic, but like sometimes white people make bangers, and that song is a banger. It's a banger.
Someone made a really great video about dad rock. I'll have to link it too. But
Oh, bro, that's like new metal and shit, right? Oh,
hmm
actually, that's like
Some good
Nickelback and
dad rock.
shit.
yeah. No, it was actually really interesting. I'll send it to you later.
Okay.
And on
Sorry, go
YouTube,
ahead
I'll
though. I
put it down.
apologize.
Anyway, so I don't know who let the liberal into the writing room, but I guess because the show came out in the early 2000s, the Congolese second Congolese Civil War was either brewing or it happened. I don't know. So we have White Doctor 1 and White Doctor 2. So both Mr. White Doctors go to the Congo to save the Africans from themselves. And the whole time it's just really cringe, right? Like war, destruction, I get that. Emaciated children, and White Doctor 1 is like super shocked. He's like, what do you mean children are dying from polio? And it's like, well, colonization, bro, but whatever, you wouldn't know that. And anyway, so there was two scenes that really just fuck with me. There was one where they're like driving through a village, and all the villagers got blasted or whatever, and there's like a mom and she's holding her dead kid and she's crying and shit. And White Doctor 2 turns to White Doctor 1 and he goes, do you see? These people, they're just people. They don't care about where the border is or what language they speak. They just want peace. Bitch, what do you mean? Like, yes, people care about where the border is and what language they speak. Why do you think in the Congo they speak French? Why are we speaking English right now? Why am I speaking English right now? Why do I speak Spanish? Like, what? That's bizarre. And I was like, oof, that was hard. That was hard to listen to, but let's keep it going. It's a stupid liberal show, whatever. So we get to scene 2, and White Doctor 2, he's like captured by the oh wait, no shit. I'm going way ahead of myself. There was another scene where they had to like run away, right? No, I'm getting all over the place. They thought one guy was dead, and White Doctor 1 is talking to, the friendly native, and he's like, hey, so like, do you think with the militia we could do an exchange of the dead? And the guy goes, these people don't care about the Geneva Convention. They've never even heard of it. They've never even heard of shoes. And that fucked with me, bro, because like,
Wow.
Cruz, Google right now when the first shoe was invented, because I'm swear to God, humans went from consciousness to shoe in like a really small amount of time.
I feel like that'd be one of the first things you'd come up with.
Bro, that's what I'm saying, because...
Okay, I got it right here.
Yeah.
No, obviously, I love that this is the first line. No one is credited with the invention of shoes.
Okay.
No one has the patent.
It was Adidas.
Makes sense.
The earliest known pair of shoes is believed to date back between 7,000 and 8,000 BCE.
Okay.
And it was made from...
Say it again?
It sounds very uncomfortable.
Okay, but case in point, right? Like,
yeah.
Thinking humans can be, oh man, it hurts when my foot touched rock. Maybe put thing on foot? People been doing that since most of existence. So don't tell me that these people who are operating machine guns and explosives and rocket launchers don't know what a fucking shoe is? Like, come on, bro. Like, that cringe. Okay. So then the final scene, and I had to turn it off, and I was like, I can't keep watching this shit. Dr. Guy gets captured by the militia, and they're just like killing people, and they come up to him, and they're gonna blast him, and they're like beating on him and shit, and like there's all like whimsical music and church kind of trying to make him like a Christ figure. Honestly, that's what they were going for. And the guy he gets up on his knees and he starts praying, and then like the militiamen are like looking around like, what do we do? And then one of them turns to the other guy and he's like, in French, he's like, is he a priest? And then there's a civilian and she's like, yes, he's a priest. You can't kill a man of God. And then they deadass bowed to him. The militiamen got down on their knees and bowed to him. What are you saying? What? I can't deal with that, bro. Because, okay.
I need this video. I want a full-blown...
I'm doing it, bro. I'm doing it. Because
I want a film review.
You can't. Rating. I understand. You're not gonna just have this guy get blasted in the face,
right?
But like, I'm not trying to make the militiamen seem like they're just butchers either. But in a real life scenario, nobody's gonna be like, "Is he a priest?" No. If they're just blasted motherfuckers like that, they were just gonna blast him. And just the image of these black men who supposedly don't know what shoes are bowing to this white man. I'm like, absolutely not, dog. Like, so I'm gonna make that video. It's gonna go hard. Like,
I can't wait.
I have to. That's crazy. I
Drop it.
hate
It's gonna be a
liberals.
banger. Make sure if you want to watch this video, guys, click the link in my bio, in our bio, and subscribe. Like, we already have a bunch of videos out, a bunch of podcasts out, and check out the Spotify also, and social medias.
Thanks, baby girl.
Nice plug.
You know what?
Yeah.
The one that has
I agree with the Pat Sox on one thing right now, that Hollywood
Turn it off.
Hollywood has to stand trial for war crimes. For sure.
Well, actually, there's one crazy thing that Haas said one time, where he was talking about
The one time?
he's gonna have all the Marvel and DC characters join one universe, and they're all gonna be slaughtered alongside Mickey Mouse or something. and like, I thought that was hilarious. I'm not gonna lie.
That is hilarious, legit.
There was more to it, but I don't remember because it's obviously delusional. But it's kind of funny. It was pretty funny. It's almost like when Trump says something like stupid, and you're like not laughing because he's funny. You're kind of like laughing at him because it was funny. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes. People we hate and disagree with can be funny. It's true.
Was that a flip
that's
phone?
No,
What did you put away in your pocket, Larry?
What?
It looked like you had a flip phone.
No, I didn't put anything in my pocket. I was scratching my.
You're fucking with me. I swear to God, I just saw it. Whatever.
Hey,
He's gaslighting you, Ivan.
He's gaslighting you. Hey, there's no
you
such thing as gaslighting. You're just.
Oh, you got a
crazy.
Dr. Pepper, bro?
I had Diet Dr. Pepper, and
Yeah, bro.
I'm kidding,
Let's
by the way.
go. Sponsor us.
Hey,
Fuck, it's not coming up.
I had my first soda. It was a cream Dr. Pepper soda tonight.
It's literally what
in
I'm
like a
drinking
long
right
time.
now,
And it was kind of got me all jittery and stuff because I don't drink pop as much as I used to.
bro. Was it the zero sugar or the real deal?
Nah, it was a legit thing. It was bomb though. It was pretty fire.
I only ever have soda when I go to my dad's house because he only has alcohol and soda in the fridge.
Mm-hmm.
My brother only has soda.
And I'm like, okay, well, it's 3 o'clock. I'm not trying to get wasted.
You ever do DMT?
You ever done DMT?
I
Have you ever done black tar?
yes.
see.
What's the tallest man you've ever
God.
seen?
Anyway, moral of the story is, I hate liberals. They're the worst. I'm never gonna stop. I'm not. Nope.
So
I can't.
I do want to bring something up.
Yeah, go for it. Take it away from me.
Conversation's got me thinking about it. One of my favorite, like, when communism just randomly comes up in shows, is especially shows that aren't necessarily like political. Like, I think about, there's a BoJack Horseman episode entirely about like, holy shit, hold the salami, this guy's a commie is what he says. And like the communist at the end is just like, I don't have to do anything. Capitalism sows the seeds for its own destruction, and he runs away. But my favorite is not Boy Meets World, but the spin-off sequel, Girl Meets World. Because the guy from the original is like a teacher or something in this one. And it's like a random like report on political things. And like 3 of the students are like, we're communists. And he gives them all a collective C because communism doesn't reward hard work and you're sharing your
Yeah.
And it was like, it wasn't like a small, it wasn't like just a brief liner. It was like a whole sequence within the episode. And I was just like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah,
That
these
reminds me-
people don't know what they're talking about.
It's like, it's a dumb show about a girl growing up, and it's just like, fucking communism, man.
That reminds me of Stranger Things, to be honest, because the first 2 seasons were all right, and then like the third and fourth seasons are like all about like being attacked by the USSR and shit, and
Yeah.
it's crazy.
They're like, the
bullshit.
USSR has access to an underworld, and they're allowing monsters to come and destroy us.
And like, I hated that shit. Like, I couldn't even finish the 4th season just because there was so much propaganda trash.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal. Um, I just remembered one more scene in the same show I'm talking about. It's ER, by the way. Um,
Classic.
they had this woman who's a Buddhist nun, and I don't even know if that's accurate if they're called nuns, but whatever. Buddhist nun, and she was dying, and all her Buddhist people were there, and it was super sad and shit and whatever. So anyway, white man doctor is there, and keep in mind the Buddhists are Japanese, and that is very important to what I'm about to say. So, and to the point that like they said it like they're Japanese Buddhist monks. Okay, so I'm not just saying that.
Right.
So the woman's dying and shit, and the one of the Buddhist women turns to the white man doctor and is like, you know, she was imprisoned in North Korea for standing up for human rights.
Oh my god.
Rights for who? Rights for who?
It's because she
Yeah.
didn't want to get the same haircut as Kim Jong Un.
Yep.
And the fact that they're Japanese, the former colonizers of Korea, I'm like, wait, what you mean by that, dog?
Yeah.
What you mean by that? Like, man, I can't.
I wish they would bring up the bill, like the millions of fucking North Koreans that they killed during the Korean
No,
War.
no.
No. They're just talking about the freedom for the Toyota Corporation to own the peninsula.
Or to put a
It's
Pepsi logo as
Samsung
your
literally owns like 25% of the entire South Korean economy.
flag.
That's super fucked.
For real.
It's like cyberpunk,
Yeah.
right?
And plus, their country's flag looks like the Pepsi logo.
They
Literally.
do have an
It
entire
is the Pepsi
city.
logo.
The flag is kind of fire. I'm not gonna lie. I do like the flag, but
They
North
do have
Korea's
a
flag is
city
better.
in South Korea called Hyundai City. Like it's literally a
No
city
way.
that does nothing but like everyone there works for Hyundai.
But the
Crazy.
working conditions is just as bad as Japan there, right? If not worse.
What'd you say?
Like the working conditions there is probably just as bad as Japan.
Well,
I think I saw a
They're
report
worse
where
than
it's not
Japan, yeah.
good,
I
but
hear it's
it's
pretty bad.
Pretty nasty.
they
Well,
don't have the same like fall asleep at your desk is a good thing because you're working so hard.
Right.
From what I understood.
well, that was like that show
And they were
came
a
out.
fascist dictatorship up until not
The 70s.
terribly long ago.
It wasn't that long ago.
What was it? Fucking a couple years ago, the show Squid Games came out, and the creator of that show was like, "This is a commentary on South Korean society and hyper-capitalism, and how it's a dog-eat-dog world, and people literally will kill each other for a chance at a better life." And then I swear to God, there were articles out there that were like, South Korea's Squid Game's writer says it's about capitalism, but it's actually about North Korea.
Yeah.
I remember those TikToks when Squid Games first came out. There was all these people that were just like, it's actually about communism, and here's how. And it's just like the dude that made it said it's about capitalism. There's even a character in the show that fled from the north, and they were like, "Why did you flee?" And she's all depressed, and she literally says, "I thought it was going to be better here." Like,
Right. And now she's literally in a gladiatorial death match. She
yeah.
would have just been better off
Oh
if
my
she
God.
stayed.
She would have been better off staying in the north.
Because she dies, like
Yeah. Spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, it's already old though. If you
like 6
haven't
years,
seen
bro.
it, it's your fault.
Yeah.
My rule on
we can't be-
spoilers is that if you didn't watch it in the first 2 weeks, you are subject to spoilers and you cannot
Yes.
complain. That is the law.
Absolutely.
Anything
There is an anime that like just came out, right? It's called like Zomb 100 or some shit like that, right? And it legitimately, like the first episode was like really fucking good because it's all about basically this guy who gets out of college, he gets a job that he wanted all along, working in, basically making ads for like movies and stuff like that, right? So he gets this job and he has a really good first day, and after he gets drinks with his like coworkers on the first day, they get up and they're like, all right, time to head back to work. And he's like, what? we've been here for 8 hours. I thought this was the end of the day. And they're like, nobody goes home. And then there's a point where they're comparing how they have 120 hours of unpaid overtime, and they're like trying to one up each other on that. And it gets to the point where basically this guy literally there's a zombie apocalypse that happens, and what comes to mind first for him, because he's so detached from reality because of how fucked his workplace is, that he's excited. He's like, yes, I don't have to go to work today. He's like, I'm finally free.
My wife saw that trailer for that show. She's like, fine. Yeah, sorry, our wife.
Your
saw that
wife's
trailer.
my mom. All right, let's get that
Kitty's
straight.
mom.
Our wife saw that trailer, and she was like, "Oh, this show speaks to me on so many levels."
It's really good.
I hear
You
that
don't have to
One
watch
Piece is a
anything else.
really.
Just watch that first episode. That's it.
I
Okay.
heard One Piece is a really like a revolutionary anime. Apparently, I haven't really
No
watched
weebs.
much of it, but
Weebs, is that what you just said?
No weebs. No.
sorry, man.
No.
We're gonna have to bring it up
Yep.
because
No weebs.
that shit's like okay. I'm sorry. Brick wall.
This space is stinky enough. We have anarchists.
Hey,
We cannot have
if
weebs here.
anarchists were in here, my nose would be smothered up and falling on the ground. That's how just stinky it'd be.
It's almost as stinky as France. Nah, sorry, I cut you off. Talk about women.
Oh,
France
no.
is really dirty. Oh my god.
Oh God.
Imagine France 2,000 years ago. Imagine France 2,000 years ago. Buckets of shits on the street.
I mean, yeah.
But to get back to what I was saying, One Piece is a communist show. Apparently, it's about a group of pirates. I don't know about what's so communist about that, but it's a group of pirates fighting against corrupt governments and armies and stuff. And I don't know. There was more to it. You'd have to have a fan to explain it.
Pirates, you say? Leftist pirates? I think you mean anarchists.
Yeah, that would be
Fucking
anarchist.
for real.
I haven't
Really?
ever watched.
Well,
Honestly, the only person that I know, there's one person I know that's watched all over 1,000 episodes and is currently watching the thing. But the only person in my immediate that I could ask any of this would be my daughter. She's 7
Let's get her on.
in One Piece. She's in bed now.
No,
Guesting for us next week.
Cruz's daughter.
Don't do that. We already had her running.
Yeah, no minors.
Oh.
FBI.
You got CIA.
FBI sniped you.
Goes, no minors, and then the whole fucking screen cuts out for him for a second.
The anarchists are not happy.
They're
Oh, God.
freaking reporting right now.
Mm.
Those pirates. That's so funny. I'm actually gonna start. I'm gonna start using that. Thanks, Cutie.
Weren't they?
It's true. Macno was literally a fucking pirate.
He
It was literally just a band of dudes raiding trains and being like, "We are fighting for the glorious revolution."
they even had a black flag with a fucking skull on it.
You know, it's pretty interesting,
Wasn't he a
right?
prince though? Or wasn't that? Oh, that was Bukharin. Or no, not Bukharin. What the fuck?
Don't bring my daddy into this.
I'm sorry. It's his name is. I'm trying to think of this other guy.
Bakunin?
Bakunin. Yes. I'm sorry. Yes, you can see it's easy to get those confused. But Bakunin, wasn't he a prince or some shit?
I can't remember, but he was very anti-Semitic.
Well, a lot of them
Oh,
were.
oh,
I mean,
oh.
there was a few authors that were really popular in Germany in 1945 that were anarchists. They were praised
I can think
by
of one.
by Germany for their anti-Semitic works, and they were anarchists. So just saying. And people always be like, "Well, what about Marx on the Jewish question?" I'm like, there's nothing anti-Semitic in there. Marx was Jewish.
They haven't read that.
No, they just the title sounds bad, so it must be bad. Roar.
If they read it, they would know what it's about, and that's also an example of language getting outdated as well.
Right. Like one word. This is one ultra rare Lenin W, and he's nothing or L. I meant, and He's nothing but W's.
That's it, ultra rare.
But this is a rare.
What?
This is a rare L.
Starting it
L,
with being
sorry.
like, this is an ultra rare Lennon W, and then
No,
screwing
L.
up
I
to
meant
say the
L.
worst shit.
But the one word that I think is an L is like the word state capitalism. Like, I think that one, just because it sounds bad, people automatically think it's bad. They're like, yeah, but they're like capitalists, you know? And it's just like, they're not like gonna enforce capitalism forever, and they're just gonna try taking power because they're evil,
It's
you
not
know?
Lennon. It's not his fault. Motherfuckers don't know what words mean.
Yeah,
For real.
it's not all
Yeah,
Lenin.
I actually think Engels had a whole thing about state capitalism too.
Yeah.
But yeah, pirates and anti-Semites. I think most of them, if not all.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the fascists kind of ruined the Jewish question terminology for everybody, though. That's for sure.
Right.
They
So,
kind of ruined everything, to be
what?
Every
honest.
Yeah,
time y'all say that sentence,
If you
We
count
get
the
canceled. We
my
get closer to getting
brain
canceled.
hurts. My brain hurts. Like it's like sandpaper rubbing against itself.
yo, it's gonna go crazy when Kollectiv merch is in the Chinese Gucci store.
Oh, I can't wait.
Facts. That's gonna be banger. We're
Our
gonna have a
drip is
collab
gonna
with Gucci.
like fucking through the roof. Like we're gonna get on here, no one's gonna be able to resist us.
yeah.
So I keep accidentally, because I'm trying to add likes to the stream, but there's only like a small corner of the phone that will let me do it. So every now and again, a pop-up comes up for like invites, and I keep sending an invite to the same guy over and
Oh,
over
poor
and over
guy.
again. I've probably done it like 8 times. So,
Please
you know,
fucking join.
we're just gonna have to keep it rolling.
He
He's
really
like, I'm
loves
tired of
that guy.
Kollectiv.
Yeah, he's probably gonna make a reactionary
Please
video, be like, these
join.
fucking nerds. God damn. Muerte, how do you feel that this is your what number account band?
So I think the actual number is like 10, but I put 11th on my account, so it's like 10th, 11th account band. Yeah, I don't know if that's record. I don't know. I can't be
Let's
saying
make this
like
the
some.
last fucking one, dude. Holy shit!
I'm trying, bro. But
Bro, you can't.
I get strikes for anything. I swear.
Bro, you
Like
can't.
I've gotten strikes for literally saying 100%. Like literally using the number 100 and putting the percent. I got a strike for that. I promise you, I got a strike for that.
Really?
I swear, I got a strike for that. And like,
It's really
I get
super
strikes for
amazing.
anything, bro. And so even if I take a day or two off, I'll come back and I'll comment something, and it's like, I swear, bro. I know it's a meme, but they're in my fucking walls right now. And when they see me fucking post, and they're just like, ding. I'm
You
just
gotta
kidding,
tell
but
Milton to chill, bro, cause she's doing too much.
Milton's fucking covering me. I mean, like,
Milton's covering all of us. I don't know what you talking about.
ooh,
it's just
Ancient
funny as
Milton,
shit
bro.
because you
oh,
you like get a strike, Morte, and you're like, you know what? Let me just keep posting until I keep getting more strikes.
well,
You're
I
like,
mean,
I
I
gotta
post, I
respond to
literally,
this comment thread for the 8th time
I'll
and see
post
what
something. I'll
happens.
post something that's not even strike worthy, and they'll find something to strike you for. So, yeah,
Yeah, because the post you responded to has the word Nazi in it. That's all they
right,
need.
that's true. And
Oh, God.
I mean, instead of taking down the comment, they take down my whole account.
Hmm.
Crazy.
Yeah, they're not going to actually do anything to the actual Nazis. They're just going to ban anybody who isn't that uses the word in any context that shows up on their videos. It's ridiculous because then you go around and you'll be on your FYP and you happen to have interacted with one of these ghouls, and suddenly you'll have like 16 cap cut edits with the fucking Hell March in the background, and Hitler's just voice just it's clangly clangly.
Yelling in German.
Yeah,
Just keep fucking saying all the words you should not be saying.
I'm like watching the view
You're
count.
like
Like,
you're like censoring yourself, and then you're like, you know what? Never mind. I'm just gonna say it right now.
we're
You're
like
like
an hour
the
and a half
word, and then
in.
you're like, Nazi.
I got my FBI guy in my pocket, so it's good.
I'm in a chat with mine right now. You're all going down.
Oh
I'm
shit.
I'm
I
with
was
them
you,
right now
Chris.
because I am Milton. I am the Fed.
Mm. Just
It's
all
like
right.
when a
Hit you with
man,
that. Hit
Just
you with that Fed proletarian stare.
yo, the collective soundboard's gonna go crazy.
I can't wait.
It is.
Cutie's
That's
"I
gonna be
am the
fire.
Fed" line is gonna go to court. It's gonna be crazy.
You guys,
My
imagine you guys show up and I'm literally there. I'm like testifying against you. I'm like, hello, gentlemen.
You're just
you
pointing at us.
You're like, et tu, Brutus?
Yeah.
Too brute.
I knew his story didn't make any sense.
I got 2 escape routes out of here, so I will never go to trial.
Well, I mean, I got a one. I got a few.
Larry,
I had
you
a one-way
can't,
ticket to Cuba, one-way
you
ticket
can't
to
say that shit
China.
again. He's smiling because he knows. What were you saying, Merte?
I
Cuba?
said I got a one-way ticket to Cuba, a
Mm-hmm.
one-way ticket to China.
That drone strike got a one-way ticket to your plane.
That's
Did he get the
true.
You
Prigozhin
better
shit?
be looking like what the fuck is his name? Or what was his name,
Wagner's.
I guess.
Prigozhin.
Prigozhin.
You're gonna be looking like Prigozhin.
I could just see him. He's just looking outside his window, and he's just like shit, and it just gets hit. Fucking blows up. I mean, you guys think Ukraine did it, or you think Putin did it?
Putin. Ukraine, they don't have surface-to-air missiles anymore.
Right.
For real, bro.
I'm not
That
even trying to be
motherfucker's
funny.
really-
They just don't, and they're fucking. Did you see Western media is super big mad that uh, British Challenger fucking exploded?
Right. Well, I mean, they lost like 5 tanks in one day, and they just got those tanks like 2 months before.
Yeah, because
So-
you know what they did,
Tanks.
bro?
Oh my
They literally
god.
threw in a bunch of junior tankers, and were like, it's like Battlefield, just jump in. And they probably didn't know how to operate any of the fucking systems, and they got nailed by a T-90 that was made 30 years ago, and it lit up like a fucking candle, bro. And then Western media is like, what do we do? And it's like, bro, stop the war. I don't know what to tell you. Like, you're not...
Like, we don't have to do this.
Those poor bastards. I mean, my only hope is that, there were some Yahtzees in there, so I wouldn't feel so bad. But if it was just some Ukrainian kids who got drafted, then R.I.P. But, like, god damn. What a shitty way to go.
Well, I mean, go
One
ahead,
thing
Larry.
I did want to bring up before we get too off track here. What does everyone think of the Cuban official that has stated that the Russians have been human trafficking Cubans into military service? Has anybody heard that?
Cap.
I've heard about it, but I don't know much about it. Sounds
Yeah,
crazy
I
as
don't.
fuck.
Yeah, no, I did hear about it, but the only thing I've been seeing is just this minister's word.
Yeah,
And provided
I mean,
really no
I
evidence.
imagine it's true, to be honest. Like, if you're mobilizing people, you're going to be mobilizing the non-your people first. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Right.
you're going to be like, oh, did you just get here? Well, I'm sorry, your visa's being revoked and you're now a part of the Russian military. Like, know what I mean?
Yeah,
That would
maybe.
suck.
I mean, I
You
wouldn't put
wake
it
up.
past capitalists from doing it, but I mean, again, it's just one guy's statement versus
right. I
know,
wonder how, because it just popped up out of nowhere. I'm just curious how that's going to go around the rounds, because you'll see who picks up the story and who starts talking about the story tells a lot about it. So I'm just interested to see how it'll develop.
Do you think it's an attempt from either a bad actor in Western media to try to make more of a divide between the two countries? I mean, they're diametrically opposed ideologically. They're more of a friends with benefits type situation right now.
Yeah, uh, they are, but they aren't. I mean, Cuba really doesn't like. The Cubans don't care that Russia has gone capitalist. They just want people to,
Yeah.
trade with them. So they're not really opposed in that way.
Yeah.
at all. I think they just need great trade partners on a world stage. So yeah, but I do kind of question if it's a plant story. I
And
question it.
logistically, how would that make sense, right? Because like, if you're just stealing a bunch of Cubans to fight, in this war, who don't speak the language,
Yeah.
what are you hoping to achieve? Like that just sounds like a really stupid idea.
Right. Well, it just sounds like just send them in to be cannon fodder. You know.
But they don't even really need to do. I mean, I'm not a military strategist, but from my understanding of the current frontline situation, is that doesn't really. They don't even really need to do that.
It seems like it
It's
would be
kind
more
of more of like the Russians just waiting for the Ukrainians to send over their waves of
Right.
people.
And I do wonder if it was a situation where maybe these were people in Cuba or Cuban people that are there because the travels in Cuba and Russia is very open. If they were there and like just joined Wagner and got capped or whatever, and then this Cuban official decides that, hey, I'm going to take this as an opportunity to sort of um, go on my soapbox, and then the Western media picks it up as and throws this human trafficking angle into it because I don't believe the Cuban minister said anything about human trafficking. I think that was now I could be wrong, but I think that was a Western headline spin on it. So I don't know. It's just
Let me
something
look.
to keep an eye on. I need to read it again.
I would
Yeah,
read more. I
like,
would want to see more like info
Hmm.
on it because, especially when it comes to stories about Cuba, it's like people just say shit.
Yeah, exactly.
So I need
Exactly.
to, I definitely take that with a grain of salt.
Right. And legitimately, not everyone that is in Cuba still is on board with the socialist road. We also have to consider that as well.
For sure.
Yeah, they're in their phase where the person that led the revolution has died, and a lot of the older revolutionaries are gone. So they're on that, just like the Soviet Union, just like China, just like Vietnam. It's like that second gen almost, even though
Right.
obviously a little more complicated with Cuba. But it seems like once you hit kind of that second
Yeah.
segment, that's when problems start to arise and the ideology is starting to kind of go in two
And
different
consider,
directions.
yeah, Cuba's condition. The younger generation has never known anything but, you know, not poverty, but they didn't know the abundance that existed before the '90s
Right.
there. So they've only known the special period on. So the adherence to the revolutionary ideology is waning a little bit because they don't see the material benefits that their parents and grandparents saw.
So
So
the article says that there was a Russian newspaper reporting Cubans moving to Russia, voluntarily joining, and it's unclear if the foreign minister was speaking about that or something else.
yeah,
Gotcha. Yeah.
that's what I suspected. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds like a spin to me, but
Yep.
I'm Hispanic. I'm biased. We'll see. I'm gonna be straight. I'm gonna be upfront with it. So
Yeah.
I mean, my assumption, honestly, is like, and obvious, it's the assumption, right? That they're just, mobilizing and pressing Cubans who live in Russia into military service. Like,
right,
With
when
human
you say
trafficking.
like human trafficking, it sounds like it seems like it's trying to make the point that like Russia is sending the KGB to come and kidnap
Right.
Cubans
right,
from
right.
Cuba and then shipping them all the way to Russia to die in the fields of Ukraine in this bloody conflict they started for fascism for evil purposes. But like
Right. Exactly.
the reality is that like, most countries do this whenever they have a war. They just, they mobilize people that they don't value as much.
I mean,
You know what I
The
mean? And
United States
like,
does it all the
they're an
time.
oligarchy and they don't value non-Russians as much because they're literally racist. You know what I mean? Like they have their own racist issues too. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. I mean, the United States does it all the time. Especially with Hispanic people, they'll tell them, if you do 2 years in the Marines or whatever, we'll give you full citizenship and whatever. And every now and again, they forget to do that last part, give people citizenship. But
Right. There's been
um,
cases of Vietnam veterans and Korean veterans being deported and stuff back to Mexico. Like there's like a documentary of like a group of veterans that served in the United States military that all got deported.
crazy.
Which it's crazy, you know.
Yeah.
So this country does not give a fuck about anyone.
Right. Right. But you put human trafficking in a headline, the liberals go crazy.
Mm-hmm. They go vicious.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
The liberals
As
and the
if
conservatives.
You mean
as
just
if
conservatives?
they don't live in human traffic central, the United fucking States.
I'm trying to see if I can find those comments on that thread to round us out here. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, so when one of the liberals in the walls was telling me about how Che was this, that, and the third, and
Right.
I was like, okay, so like, where are you getting that from? And they were like, oh, look at this, and they sent me a link. Do you guys know about the Cato Institute?
Oh yeah.
It's a libertarian think tank.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So they sent me that, and the article is literally like, Che was bad, and then there was like source, and I clicked the link, and link 404.
Yeah.
So I don't even know what that was about.
Yeah. The Cato Institute.
I wouldn't be surprised if they write checks to Ben.
Benny
I'm
Boy?
pretty confident that he literally works for them. So
Oh yeah. He works for the Heritage Foundation and several. Like they're very open with their funding. It just doesn't matter to liberals and conservatives where funding comes from. They don't care. They just want to fight in the marketplace of ideals, and whoever has the most funding wins.
Is there any way we can get funding from China or something?
No,
no, China's
China
ass.
is a neutral party in all matters, proletarian or bourgeoisie.
Forever and all.
Nice
Now, if
segue,
Gucci
bro.
needs something, if Gucci needs some money, China will come up. They'll help. They'll give him a hand.
Yes, we get to the point of tonight's show. We're gonna dunk on China.
We're out of time, so
Yeah, when we get
we
to the
gotta
point of
speed run
tonight's
this.
show
Okay.
2 weeks from now.
It's called a short
All right. I'm
Road
gonna
check.
I'm gonna put up my what I think, and no, I'm not gonna say it like that. A possibility of why China does what they do, and it's probably wrong, but I believe, as we all live in the imperial core, we don't have a conception of the other side of empire, and we don't have a conception of the sheer amount of violence and destruction the United States is capable of doing. And we see sort of the same sentiment when we were talking about Niger and how they're teaming up with the Russians or whatever. Because the point I made when we first talked about that was, to so many people in the East and in the third world, the United States is the equivalent of the Yazis in the amount of destruction, in their Holocaust plus levels of destruction, genocide that they can cause. So for us, where it could be very easy to say, oh, China should do this, that, and the third, if I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt, I could see that their lack of action in terms of overtly supporting socialist projects is an attempt to avoid a war with the United States as long as possible. Because a war with the United States equals millions, if not billions, of people dying. A complete and total destruction of both nations. More destruction on the Chinese homeland than us over here. So I do believe that is more than likely what they're trying to do, is support countries in a way like Russia in their direct fight with the United States, while at the same time trying to secure their own future and compete on a world that is dominated by the United States, that is dominated by the U.S. economy. Even though declining, it is still very much the top of the hegemon. So that's my rant.
But Deng Xiaoping.
Never happened.
Never.
Revisionist.
Very.
I don't know. I mean, like, I agree, but like, there's some places like why aren't they supporting like communists in fucking Mongolia or trading more with North Korea? Like,
Yeah.
the USA is not going to like really like they can't punish China for that because China's so important to capitalists now because they're such a big market. Like they used to be dependent on China for manufacturing. Now they're dependent on China for consumers. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, like, neither side wants a war per se. Like, I mean, the United States definitely wants a war more than China, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like, that doesn't mean that I feel like that doesn't mean that China can't, take steps to essentially like support ongoing revolutions.
Yeah.
I can
Well, I mean,
understand in the circumstance of the Philippines where they don't want to make it something where like India feels like now they're next, that China's going to support the Naxal rebellion or whatever it's called. I can't remember.
Yeah, Axel. Yeah.
But like they could be supporting communists in Greece and France and Spain and Portugal and Ireland and all over the world, but like they just like don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
right. They could set up a similar organization that the USSR had. I forget what they were called. Lady Itzar. We talked about it before, I believe.
Yeah.
Lady Itzar talked about it, where USSR had an organization where they would send funds or aid to other revolutionary struggles across the world, and they would help and send maybe books or theory to help them organize. And I agree. I agree that maybe China could be doing a little bit more of that. I think, but I'm pretty sure that um, their number one, or DPRK's number one trading partner is China, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They should just. But I agree though with Cutie that they should be more openly supporting DPRK. Although it's pretty obvious that they do support them.
Their relationship has changed over the years too.
Right. Yeah.
China now is not the China of the '90s, where they were in a much more difficult position
Controversial.
where they sort of had to pretty much just play by what the West was dictating, and now China in the last decade is coming into its own. So
Yeah.
From what I could potentially see happening, and again, I'm not like an expert or anything like that, so don't say this is what's happening.
What? You're not? Holy!
I'm not.
What,
I
dude?
know. I know. I'm just some
You're
dude.
capping with me right now.
But so like China's main focus is of course itself, for getting better conditions for itself, but also with the BRICS agreement. And the main thing with BRICS, to address kind of a comment there, might risk more sanctions. The sanctions are really only possible right now because of U.S. hegemony. The U.S. will say sanction, and it affects them, but they can't really sanction the United States back.
right.
So by focusing on BRICS and eliminating that hegemony for now, they get rid of the most powerful weapon the United States has outside of outright war, which is these sanctions.
Yeah.
And once you get rid of these sanctions, now this is not to say China could not then start becoming more capitalist. They could do the same thing that happened in the Soviet Union could happen in China. They have to have that internal struggle and maintain order, or they can continue down the road of socialism. But once that ability for sanctions from one power is gone, they can support revolution wherever they want. And there's not much anyone be able to do about it other than outright war.
Right.
But and with the declining power of the dollar and manufacturing being shipped off everywhere else, the U.S. and a lot of Europe is going to start rapidly finding itself in a position where they would not be able to go to war with China.
Mm-hmm. And that's the goal of
It's just
BRICS.
not. It won't be practical to go to war. They'll focus.
Right.
They would go to war with the Philippines. They'll invade the Philippines.
Oh yeah.
They'll invade Indonesia. There was actually a report from the CIA, a leaked document from the CIA. They've been planning a coup in Indonesia to happen like sometime this year, and that's kind of how I see it. It's like there's the geopolitical choice you got to make is, do we support ongoing revolutions now around the world, or do we put us in a position to where we can support those revolutions and nothing bad's going to really happen to us?
Right.
So kind of crazy, but like low key the model of Kollectiv. To play the capitalist game, to be a business, to gather more and more resources. So when the time comes to help others organize or whatever, that we would be in a much better position to do so than just 5 douchebags on a podcast.
Exactly, and of course
Is
the
that what
danger
we're
with.
doing? I'm out.
But I feel like that's not to say that, like, you know, the members of Kollectiv shouldn't be independently doing their own actions, you know, supporting the revolution.
Right.
Because to me, Cruz, like what you're describing is like that China would be wanting like a shield of like invincibility to sort of be able to like do whatever they want, you know, with impunity. But like, I feel like one, like that's impossible. Like they'll never be able to do that, like with invincibility. And two, like they're kind of already like at, I feel like, pretty close to that, because like, you know, we also have to like look at it from the perspective of capitalists. Like this is a market of an eighth of the entire human population. Like this is 1 billion plus people to sell shit to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're putting sanctions on this country that has an eighth of the entire world's market. Like that, no, like they're not gonna do that. Like they don't want that to happen. Like the only way that would occur is if like if we really went all in on supporting the conversion of manufacturing into Mexico, right? Which is happening. But like it's not happening right now. So like, you know, China is in a position to support those revolutions until that occurs, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. I guess really ultimately time will tell, but boys, it is technically tomorrow.
Is it?
So
not for a couple
I
of
have to
these.
wake up in 3 hours, but you know, no, I'm kidding.
Not for me.
So,
7
any final
hours.
thoughts before we wrap it up?
China's still based. It's okay.
I still have a lot of critical support for China. I don't agree with everything they've done. And just like us playing the capitalist game, there is a danger of, even if all the current members and all the current members of Kollectiv and current members of government, it doesn't guarantee that future members will have the same resolve. And playing the capitalist game can very easily turn you down the wrong path. And we'll just have to see what China does.
I love China.
Good food.
I love Deng Xiaoping. He is my favorite. I love Deng Xiaoping so much.
I want a Deng Xiaoping body pillow.
And
I want to
Gorbachev.
go to the Chinese Gucci store, and then I want, when we do Kollectiv Live in China, I want to go to the Shanghai Disney World and take a picture in front of the Winnie the Pooh thing. And I will just use that forever when I argue with liberals.
I don't even. What does that say? Mao Zedong. Selected works. Okay. I had to read that like as if, you know, you were like reading. It's like flipped upside. It's weird, but yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
W.
All right, people,
Okay.
please subscribe to Collective TV if you haven't. Check out our long form videos. Check out other podcast episodes. We will be back in 2 weeks. Hopefully, we won't be as manic like we did last time, but who knows?
Could go either way.
Deng Xiaoping was based. Yeah.
Gang shopping, base god.
With
Follow
you,
the channel. More content to come soon from all of us.
Good
Quality,
night,
meaningful content.
my collective cute cumbers. Ha 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 ha.
Uh,
Ha 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 ha.
good